After 5 days in mainland Japan, it was time for a change of scenery. A 2-hour flight brought us to Okinawa, a subtropical chain of 160 islands in the East China Sea. Known for being one of the 5 blue zones from around the world, stunning beaches, and distinct culture, Okinawa only became part of Japan in the 1800s, marking the end of the Ryukyu Kingdom. Today, it's a unique blend of Ryukyuan heritage, Japanese influence, and a strong US presence with 32 military facilities spread across the main island of Okinawa. In this video, we're starting in Naha, the capital of Okinawa, where we'll dive deeper into its culture, history, and food before heading further south into the most remote part of Japan to explore its stunning nature.
So cool. So we have been really excited to come to 7-Eleven here in Japan. It looks really good. I love having a green smoothie in the morning. It's melting very fast. That shows how humid and hot the weather is. It's really nice. You can taste the pineapple.
Now we're back in our hotel room. We grabbed this tomato rice cheese omelette that looks delicious. They warm it up for you there. And of course, we had to get one of these as well because no meal is complete without one of these delicious onigiri. Let's cut through it. The egg is so good.
The Japanese egg style is just the best.
I don't understand how the egg is reheated, drenched in tomato sauce, which usually tomatoes make the eggs even have that eggier smell.
I'm telling you, it's soy sauce and vinegar.
Our first stop is to find more about the Ryukyu culture, and that is going to be done by going to Shuri Castle and taking the monorail. If you look down and you are on the train, there's no barriers. It looks like the train is levitating. I guess the name is monorail, so there's just one rail. It feels like a roller coaster. And as an anxious person with that stuff, it makes me very anxious being on it. But it's been here a while, right? Like nothing has happened, so that's what I keep telling myself. There's nothing. It goes quite fast too. It does feel like a roller coaster.
I like it. Let the walk up to Shuri Castle begin.
Naha is quite built up, actually. In fact, if you didn't feel the humidity, see the pretty beaches and pockets of tropical vegetation, you'd think you're in any other place in Japan. But then you come to these little pockets of nature and it truly feels like you're in a tropical island or you've gone in a different country. Which actually brings us to the next fact about Okinawa. And that's that it wasn't always Japan. It was its own kingdom, the kingdom of Ryukyu. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it. That's actually quite different than the Japanese culture at the time. And we're gonna go learn more about it here at their castle.
After visiting so many cities in the past 2 weeks, with so many tourists, little places to even move, noise, lights everywhere, this really does feel like a breath of fresh air. And I mean, I know it's like a big city, but this just feels like you're in nature. You can see the water from here, even like the sound of the rain. It's very calming. Good. Just keep an eye out for the snakes, eh?
We are not at the castle yet, and that's because we got distracted by the cafeteria, and since we're in a tropical place, they have tropical fruits. We got some ice cream. Olivia, what did we get?
Very beautiful looking mango saucer ice cream. This is the kind of thing I've been waiting for. We are in between fruit season here, so passion fruit, banana season just ended, and the other season for mangoes, pineapple hasn't begun yet. So this is not gonna be fresh. It's really nice.
Really?
I love when something's like creamy, but it has like that fruity flavor. It's very good. It tastes real too.
The stone gate behind me is a sacred place. Right before a big journey, the king would come here and pray for a safe journey. As you can see, there's a few different colors here, and that's because during World War II, this was almost completely destroyed, and they had to rebuild it about 10 years later in the 1950s. Shuri Castle is believed to have been completed by the late 14th century and served as a major center of diplomacy, politics of the Ryukyu people until Imperial Japan came in and occupied the island of Okinawa. You may not know this, but Okinawa was a very critical point in World War II. And so this castle was almost completely destroyed during the war. So the castle has been going through major renovations since 1972. All right, we got the tickets, let's go in. When you enter, this is what you're supposed to see. We knew this before we came, but we still decided to come because they say seeing the process is even cooler in some ways than seeing the castle itself. The entire compound is under renovation, but they've done a really good job showing you how they're renovating, and they're doing it all on the spot with actual techniques from the past, and they're barely using any modern technology to do it. So the entire castle is hidden behind this modern building, but it's supposed to be really cool to witness the process. So let's go see how you restore an ancient artifact.
So the restoration is actually because a lot of the castle was destroyed during a fire in 2019.
Wait, so did it get completely burned off?
It must have.
There's nothing.
There's nothing, yeah. So the complete restoration will not be finished until 2026. And it shows in the thing, like a page back there, that they're doing it in stages, and the final stage will be complete then. And they started in 2022. I think over here there are little fragments of the original.
Well, based on what we learned earlier, how most of the castle was destroyed from World War II, I think these are still not the originals. These are still from the restoration of the 1970s and beyond. I was wondering how have you put this entire building under this other building? But it makes sense, there's nothing left. Wow, that's so sad.
Oh.
That's all that's left of this dragon. So each floor has a different viewing area.
So which one do you think is heavier between these?
This one looks heavier to me.
This one is definitely much heavier.
So this is the roof. And now we're on the final floor.
They very easily could have just shut down the whole park and castle because it was being restored to get their work done. But they created a different experience out of it where we can pretty much watch most of the workers through the glass.
Very cool. You don't ever really get to see that.
No.
That's so smart.
wonderful panoramic views of the island. So now let's go and check out a different part.
We just finished exploring Shuri Castle, and as you exit and you come a little further down, you'll see a sign about the 32nd Army headquarters. The Imperial Japanese Army really like underground tunnels. There's some other ones about the island as well that we wanted to go. We're not gonna have time, but if you do have the time and you're here, you should definitely check it out. These are some of them, and from what we're seeing on the picture in front of me, they're tunnels that connect. And so this must have been one of the entrances, and it goes all the way beyond on the other side. It's really big. Over 1,000 army officers and civilians actually lived here. This was a very strategic location because you have the fortification and it's up on a hill. So when the US Marines came to the Naha Shuri area, it was very difficult to take over. Eventually, in May 22nd, the Japanese army decided to pull back. And on May 31st, the castle was seized by US forces. Knowing the sad history that took place here, it feels very eerie. Following World War II, the presence of American military bases led to a growing US population on the island, shaping a unique subculture often referred to as the Hawaii of Japan. One of the most unique creations to come out of this cultural blend is taco rice.
The history of the taco rice is that the Americans that had been stationed here in the bases for so long, they were craving something more like international. So thus came the taco rice. So they brought some of like the more Tex-Mex flavors. It's pretty much rice, which is sometimes cooked with like Japanese like sauces, soy sauce, and then with ground meat, and then different toppings.
They give you a spoon to eat it. Interesting.
I love the rainbow.
It smells really good. I've never had Spam before. And it's interesting because we've seen Spam everywhere in Okinawa, but not anywhere in the rest of Japan. Again, goes hand with the Hawaii thing because they do that a lot in Hawaii.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try the Spam first. Wow, the flavor's really good. I'm almost getting like an Indian taste too.
I think what you're getting is the mixture of like the Mexican spices with the Japanese influence,
Yeah, you're
because
right.
it has some soy sauce, it has some garlic butter. Wow.
This flavor's really hitting the spot right now.
Wow, the flavors are amazing. Highly, highly recommend.
We got Chipotle. I'm here for taco rice.
Wow, when we go home, we're definitely making taco rice.
And the garlic chips. What do you think of the Spam?
It's really good. I never thought to do Mexican and Asian flavors together. No, actually, I do make a Mexican Asian quesadilla, and that makes it really good with the soy sauce.
Wow, this is really good. Unfortunately, during the Battle of Okinawa, over 90% of the infrastructure and architecture of the island was destroyed. So we're passing through this small little street, and we found this house, which is a traditional Okinawan home. I'm guessing that it's one of those that remained from the war, but there's always a chance that it was rebuilt in the style. But it's really cool to see something traditional amidst all the concrete and cement.